So I've been talking about different kinds of equations, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to start in standard form and go to slope-intercept form. Standard form, remember, is ax plus by is equal to c. And we're going to talk about slope-intercept. So why would we want to do it? Well, a lot of times our equations come in standard form, but boy, is it so much easier to graph if we have it in slope-intercept form. So that's the reason we're going to convert it. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve the equation for the variable y. Now, we did this before, but it was several units ago, and then we called it literal equations. A lot of people don't like doing that. It's where you have to solve for a specified variable. Well, the good news is this one is not so difficult. You'll see that we do the same pattern over and over. So then you can easily determine your slope and your y-intercept. So the reason we want to do this is because it makes it much easier to graph if we have it in slope-intercept form. So that's the reason we're doing it. And you want your end result to be in slope-intercept form. So y on a side by itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to get y on a side by itself. That's our whole goal. That's what our goal is to get y all by itself. Okay, so that's all we're doing. So remember when we did this before, what I suggest that you do is, if you want it in slope-intercept form, get a y by itself. So put a box around what you're solving for. So you want to get y by itself. That's my variable. Everything else I'm just going to move. And it's pretty much going to be the same pattern. You're going to get rid of that x term, and then you're going to divide by the coefficient of y. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move that x term. I have a negative 5x, so I'm going to add it to both sides. And I get 2y is equal to 5x plus 10. Okay, again, what we're trying to do is get that y by itself. So, see how it's connected by multiplication? What am I going to do? I'm going to get them apart by dividing by 2. Now, when we did this before, I allowed you to divide the whole thing, but look at slope-intercept form. I don't want it as one whole big fraction. I want it as two separate terms. So I want to divide every single term by that. Every term gets divided by that coefficient. So now, my 2's cancel, and I get y is equal to 5/2 x plus 5. Slope-intercept form. Bam! Did it. Okay? So what I'd love for you to do right now is to pause your video and do this one on your own. And remember, what you're trying to do is get y all by itself. Okay? So if you want to try this one all on your own, that would be awesome. Pause it right now. So hopefully you've tried this already, and you've already subtracted 4x from both sides. And we get negative 8y is equal to negative 4x plus 32. And you might be wondering, well, why do I have to have the x term first? Well, look at your slope-intercept form. It's mx plus b, so get that by itself. Now I want to get rid of that negative 8, so I divide every single term by negative 8. And I get y is equal to 4 and 8, those both reduce down to 1/2. 32 divided by negative 8 is a negative 4. You can write this as plus and negative 4. It honestly doesn't matter. Okay? Number 3 and 4 are going to do the same things. The only difference here is that y is on the other side. Don't worry about that. We just have to get y by itself. That's all you're concentrating on. Get y by itself. So all I'm going to do is move this 4. And I get 3x minus 4 is equal to y. Now, does that look like slope-intercept form? It technically is. So let's get it in the exact slope-intercept form. Let's move that y to the left and move the other stuff to the right. Bam! We're done. Okay? Number 4. So we have to get y by itself, but look, y is not by itself very much at all. So, of course, we have to multiply. We have to do that distributive property first. Okay? Now, let's get y by itself. Okay? So we're going to move that negative 2x. And when we move the negative 2x here, we're going to add a 2x. Notice we have a like term on that sign. We had variables. We had x's on both sides. So I have negative 2y is equal to 2 plus 7x. Now, again, I want to get y by itself, so I'm going to divide through by a negative 2. And I get y is equal to negative 1 plus 7/2, negative 7/2 x. Okay, that's not the right form. Look at that. That x is over here. So let's make it comfortable. negative 7/2 x minus 1. My final answer. Okay? So that is changing standard form to slope-intercept. And the whole thing is get y, whoops, I can't see that. Get y on a side by itself. Get y, that's our goal. I said number 1, then I didn't put a 2 or a 3 because that's your whole goal. Okay, your homework. You're going to first change them into slope-intercept form. Get y by itself. Find the numbers. Then here, you get to not only change it into standard form, but then you get to graph. Yes! So, and you're going to see why you want it. You don't want to graph this thing. Okay, you want to get it into slope-intercept form, then plot the y-intercept and graph it. Okay? And it looks like you're going to be doing 2 graphs on each of them and going through that line again. So you should be good. Good! That's it for that lesson. Great! If you have any questions, you know where to find us.